All right, hi everybody. This is the course introduction for spring 2024's Guidance 507 8-week class. So, 8 weeks? Yeah, this is the right place if you're in the 8-week course. So, this course starts March 18th at noon. So, you won't be able to access the class until noon on the start date for the class. So I do have a lot of information to share with you right now, and this course introduction video is actually the most important thing that you need to watch in the entire class because it goes over all the procedures for the class, including what happens if your work is late and what if you run into Canvas problems at the last minute right before you turn something in. It literally covers everything that you need to know about the class. Failure to watch the whole video or watch the video all the way through means you might actually lose points in the class because you don't know how to handle situations, especially last minute situations and glitches in Canvas, and again, know like what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do, because this class is about following instructions. One thing I noticed about my students in general is that most of them were not doing well in school, primarily because they're not following the specific instructions that are required in all of their classes. And when it comes to applying for jobs or applying for schools or just generally getting what you want out of life, you do have to be sure that you follow instructions and that you answer all parts of each and every question. And so this class is graded primarily on how well you follow the instructions for each assignment as they're listed in the assignment. There are also rubrics in most of the assignments. I'm not going to say all because some of them it's like either you have it or you don't, and then it's just the points or no points. But most of my assignments have rubrics in them where you can look and see what I'm looking for exactly. And I will show you along the way how to access those rubrics and take a look at them and how to go back to them. So I'm going to apologize in advance because they are doing construction here in my apartment complex today, and there is no other day I could shoot this video. So we're just going to have to deal with if you do hear it. A lot of times I hear stuff here and you guys don't hear it. So, but just in case you do, that's what's going on. So let's get into this. So I have my list here, and like you know, if I have a lot of stuff I need to go over, I have a list to make sure that I do a good job, and you guys can use that too. So first of all, if you need accommodations for any reason, meaning that you're in DPS, so that's Disability Programs and Services, and you have a disability that requires me to modify things or create accommodations for you, then you need to make sure that you check in with me early and that you make an appointment to meet with me either by phone or by Zoom. I'm happy to just do a quick phone appointment. That works for me. You can reach me. The best way to reach me is via text at 909-224-1204. And that goes for anybody else that needs to reach me. That is the fastest way. So text. I tend to be busy. I'm working actually a 9-to-5 job as a 5th grade instructor at a Armenian school right now. And so I'm not always free during the day. So when you text me, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But chances are during that school day, I'm only going to be able to respond to you on my breaks because I'm in the middle of teaching 5th graders and they require 100% of my attention. So I can only message you back at breaks. So I'm not going to be checking my email at those times. So if you need me right away, then you need to text me. If it's something that can wait up to 48 hours, because that's how long it takes me to respond to emails, you can email me. My email is Amy, AMY, period, and then Borgi, B as in boy, ORGHI at chafee.edu. And most instructors at Chafee, their email is their first name, period, last name at chafee.edu, just so you know. And there are, those are the only two ways you can reach me is by email or by texting. You can also call me, I guess, but I don't really think too many people use phone calls anymore. So if we are going to do a phone call, please just text me first. And then unless you don't have the ability to text, then you can just call and leave a message and I'll get back to you within 48 hours. So let me break that down again. So texting, I will respond right away. So as soon as possible. So that may be a couple hours from the time you text me, but I will get back to you as soon as I get that text. For email, it takes me up to 48 hours. And if you call me, like leave a message, it'll take me 24 hours to return that call. So now you know my availability by phone. Now I have a couple of office hours. My next one is on April 1st. So I believe it's at 7 o'clock p.m. So it's from 7 to 8. I'm offering extra credit to anybody that comes to that. So you don't have to sign up ahead of time. I will be posting the link in two places, in the announcement section, and then also in a block, a module block in the course called Zoom meetings. So you'll see that the link is listed in both of those places. So you should be able to access the link and get into the meeting. All of my meetings, you'll get 15 points of extra credit. I think we have two of them. They're just called office hours. And anybody from any of my classes can show up. If you show up before the final time, so I think it's 7 to 8 p.m. So if you show up before 8 and you're in the waiting room by then, I will see you. I see students one at a time at these at the office hours. So you get like 3 to 5 minutes with me just to say whatever you need to say. It's got to be brief. If you do need a longer period of time, we can set aside time and meet, have a personal meeting or something like that. But it will not be during those office hours because I only have about 3 to 5 minutes per student. But all students that attend will get 15 points of extra credit towards their grade. So it's in your best interest to show up. So April 1st is our next one at 7 p.m. Okay, so the most important thing that you need to do in the whole class is make sure that you are checking the announcement section regularly. And when I say regularly, I mean twice a week. Usually Wednesdays and Sundays are the best days to check because I do tend to put messages up on those dates. Sometimes I do also message on Mondays because I am delivering new course material, so I might let you know if new course material is available for you. I do try to get things up ahead of time, but usually I will have your course materials for the following week up by Monday at 9 p.m. I usually do it earlier, but that's my last date and time. So if it's not up by then there's a problem, please message me. But most of the time I'm going to make those materials available earlier whenever I have a chance to do that. I try to work ahead of time as much as possible, which is tough because I am working an additional job in addition to Chafee. And I'm also taking classes right now towards my special ed credential. So I'm actually kind of moving into another career here, and I'll still be teaching at Chafee, I guess, just part-time, but I'm going to be teaching special ed next year, and I'm really excited about that. And for right now, I'm doing a long-term substitute position as a 5th grade teacher. So that's kind of what I'm up to. And so I'm actually taking classes as well. And so I am also a student right now. So I really understand what it's like to be a student. I'm right in there with you guys doing what you're doing. And it's really important that you check those course announcements regularly. If you fail to do that, you may miss really important information. The kind of stuff that I put up there are things like changes to the course syllabus. When I cancel assignments, because sometimes I'm like, this is too much, I'm just going to cancel this assignment. And if I do, I'm going to put it there. I also, offer extra credit via the announcements. In fact, I'll do that quite a bit throughout the term. So make sure that you're watching the announcements carefully so you can get all the extra credit. I want you to get it. I really do. So those are the most important things. Okay. So you do need to pick up your materials for the class, and we do have a couple of books, and let me grab our course textbooks. I believe I have them in here, but I got to rifle around a little bit because I didn't grab them ahead of time. Oh, that is not it. But I do have my day planner. So you are going to be required to get a day planner for the class. So make sure you have that. And are my books? Goodness. Uh-oh. Okay, so I think my books are in here. Actually, I have my, it's like a little bag that I have for when I do in-person classes. It's really cute. It's adorable. And so they're probably in here. So I should have pulled them ahead of time, but we forgot. So here we go. Here they are. Good thing my bag's close. All right, so the first book that you need for the class is the on-course book, and this is by Skip Downing, and it is the 8th edition. So I know that there is a 9th edition, and it's been out for some time, but I like to use the 8th edition because it's cheaper for you to rent that, and it has all the information. I don't feel like I need to switch to the new one. It is pretty similar. If you got the 9th edition, you'd probably be able to survive, but you would have to figure out the page numbers because the page numbers are different. So here is what the book looks like. Mine has this extra border around the outside because it's the instructor's edition. So your book will just look like this middle part with the white and the teal, and it will be the 8th edition. So you will have to upload proof that you got this book into the assignment for purchasing your books. And you'll have to also upload the other book, which is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens. Now, both of these books are required, so you need them both. And you also need a daily or weekly day planner, meaning when you open it up, it's a day or week on each page. So this one is actually, this is a whole week on the page. So it starts, it's the subject, because this is a teacher planner, so it's the subject goes on the side, then it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So that it would work because it's just 1 week on the page. But if it's like a whole month on the page, it's too small and you won't be able to use it for what we're going to use it for, because we're going to be actually taking our coursework from not just this class, but from all your classes, and putting them into that day planner and figuring out when you're going to do your assignments. So I do have a video in the course introduction in which you will watch exactly what I want to do, or I want you to do with the day planner. And there's also written instructions, I believe, as well, but I really strongly urge you to watch the video because it's a little more informative. In this class, you may see that there are multiple videos on the same subject, and that's because I have been going through recently and creating shorter videos. So these are video lectures that I give throughout the term, and so some of them are going to be like 30 minutes or 45 minutes long, and that's pretty long. And some of my students have said, Dr. Borgia, I love your lectures, but like there's a lot of things in those lectures that we just don't need. And what it is my personal experiences. So in the longer lectures, I share the information, but I also share my personal experience with using that information and how it's worked for me in my life, or examples of how it's worked for other students in their lives. But in the short videos, I'm just giving the information. So some people like to find out more information about me, and they're curious and they would like to watch the longer videos, and that's fine. But if you don't have a lot of time, I get it. And so I made a series of shorter videos for you. And so not every lecture has a shorter video yet. I'm in the process of revamping my course. So please bear with me. And of course, if you see there's a shorter video and you'd rather watch that, please do. But if you'd like more information after you watch that shorter video, you can always watch the longer one. Okay? So next, besides getting your materials, you're going to have to upload those into the assignment. And that leads me to some Canvas glitches that could potentially get in the way of you being able to do that. So for example, I'm going to ask you to take a picture of you with your books. So if you've got your books, you're going to take a photo with all your books, and you're going to look so cute. And then you'll just upload that one photo. But let's say you didn't actually get all your books yet and you just have the receipts. So you're going to order receipts, or you're going to show me the receipts for the books. And you may have 3 separate photos. And if that is the case, you'll upload the first photo first, and then you will pause. And then you will put the other one, you'll choose add another, and then you'll add this one, and then you'll add another, and then you'll add this one, and then they'll all go in together. You'll push upload after you have all 3 in the queue. If you fail to do that, like let's say you just put this one in and then you upload it, and then you put this one in and you upload it, this will bump out this one. And so that's something you really need to know about Canvas, is that everything that needs to be uploaded has to be done so at the exact same time in order for it to appear in the assignment. On the right-hand side of your assignment, you will see all the things that are attached. So if you only see one thing and you tried to upload 3 things, you did it wrong. But with all the assignments, you can always go back and do it again. Most of you have already been on Canvas before, but just in case you haven't, I do have video instructions on how to use Canvas, and specifically how I would like you to use it for this course. I like to use the modules view, meaning on I guess that'd be the left-hand side on your computer. So when you're looking at Canvas, on the left-hand side, it says modules. I want you to click on modules, and I want you to use that to access the course materials, because then you'll be able to see everything that's available to you, and it'll be a lot easier. So please use modules, and when you click on stuff on the homepage, it'll take you to the modules page. So you should be just using modules. Okay, so next we have the other technical problems of Canvas. So sometimes it times out. It's like about 10 minutes that you have before it times out. But like if you are typing something in Canvas, let's say you have the text assignment and you're like typing into the text box and everything's going smoothly, and then next thing you know, the doorbell rings, you go get the doorbell, and then you come back and it's been 15 minutes and it looks like everything is just fine with your assignment, and you keep typing and you spend another 30 minutes on that, and then you press upload and it times out and says, sorry, Canvas timed out, you're no longer logged in. Please log in. And then you go to log in, but you know what? You lost all your work. It will not save your work. It doesn't automatically save. And this is tragic, and it happens to everybody at least once. If it happens to you, trust me, it happened to me multiple times before. I was like, oh, maybe I should not be typing all my stuff into Canvas and then uploading. So what I do now is I'll use a word processing program. So word processing programs acceptable here. I would say use Google, you can use Google Docs and Google Drive to kind of save things, and that automatically saves, which is beautiful. And then you would just copy and paste that stuff into the text box for your assignment, and you're good. Or you can, if you're using Google Docs, you can save it as a Word document and then upload the whole document. What you cannot do, and this is very important, there are no cloud links in this class. They do not work. Well, first of all, the problem is that most people don't know how to make cloud links actually available to people. And so what happens is you'll give it to me, but I won't be able to access your work. And if that happens, then, I can't access your work and I have to ask you for permission. But in the meantime, you're getting extra time to do your work, which is not fair. And so that's why cloud links are no longer allowed in this class, because people were abusing it and they were being like, oh, I sent you permission. And I'd be like, well, I can't access your document. And then 3 days later, you'd be like, oh, okay, it's ready now. But you had 3 extra days to do your work. And so I started cluing into that. So we no longer are allowed to use cloud documents, and I do not have the plugin plugged into the class that allows you to use those cloud documents. So basically that would be creating a link to your assignment. There are no assignment links allowed, no cloud links, no linking to the cloud, no links, period. So you should either upload the actual document, save your Google Doc as a Word document and upload, or copy the document and paste it into the text box. Those are your options if you're using Google Docs. If you're using Pages, save it as a Pages document or as a Word document and upload that, or copy and paste it. If you're using Microsoft Word, save it as a Word document and upload it, or copy and paste it. Those are your options, okay? Other word processing problems, I'm not aware that they exist. Those are the top 3. Those are the 3 most students use. And so I would recommend using one of those 3. So either use Google Docs, use Pages for Microsoft or for Mac, or use Microsoft Office with Microsoft Word, which is available both on Mac and PC, but you have to purchase it. Okay, so the next thing besides those technical problems is, sometimes Canvas is down. And so if Canvas is down, this is my procedure. So if it is down on the day that we have an assignment due, for however long it's down, I will offer that much extra time. So if it's down for almost an entire day, I'll just offer you another day to turn it in. If for some reason your internet is down, that is not an excuse or reason to not upload assignments on time. And this is why. So I strongly encourage you to get your work turned in early, so ahead of time, meaning I would love to see you get your homework done by Friday. So homework is due on the following Monday after it appears in the syllabus. So you'll look at the syllabus. This is what you should do every week. You should start by looking at the syllabus. You should take what's in the syllabus and write down any readings or assignments that you have in your day planner and when they're due. And then write down when you're going to do those assignments. That kind of also requires that you've already written down what you have to do, like where you have to be. So like if there's places you have to actually physically be or things that you need to be working on throughout the week, you got to put those in your day planner too. So like work, and if you have any like extracurricular stuff, like maybe you play soccer or maybe you play football and you got to put that stuff in, or maybe you're a babysitter and you babysit, whatever it is that you have, other classes that you have, times that you're going to have to be on campus, all that should be in your day planner too. But you should also schedule time to get your assignments done. And I would say schedule it during the week. So if it's possible, I understand sometimes, maybe you work during the week and you do all your work on the weekend, whatever. But what I'm asking is that you don't wait until Monday night to try to turn in your work. So if you try to turn in your work Monday night and Canvas is down, I'm not going to have any sympathy about this, because I'm telling you to get your work done ahead of time. That is the goal. So if you tell me, oh my God, my internet was down all day Monday and I wasn't able to get my work in, I'm going to say, sorry, that's tough. However, I do have, just because I don't take late work for any reason. So again, I do not take late work. So if you miss the deadline, you missed it. You're not going to get to make up those assignments. But what you can do is you can use the extra credit for the class to make up those points. So I have about 300 points of extra credit in the class, and I think we've got about 1,800-ish points in the class. So that's quite a bit of points that you can make up. And if you miss something, you can use those extra credit points to bolster your grade. However, I'm going to be offering extra credit throughout the term, starting at the beginning of the class. So my advice is do as much of the extra credit as you can, because it's like insurance for later. So you do have to do some in the beginning. I load most of the extra credit towards the end of the term, so that way you do have a little, way to come back if you screw up at the beginning. However, some assignments are extra credit and they're in the beginning, and those points are no longer going to be available after the due dates for those extra credits. So we do have 3 big Success Center assignments that are worth 50 points of extra credit each. So 150 points of your extra credit is actually those Success Center assignments. So they're each worth 50 points apiece. That's a lot of points, but you have to do them within the time frame that they are offered. And so I do believe the first one you can start right now. So that's mindset. You need your student ID in order to do the Success Center extra credits, okay? So you have to have your student ID. You can get a free one in person if you go on Thursday. Otherwise, go to admissions and records and follow the procedure to get it through the internet. It does take about 2 weeks to do that. And so if you can't get your ID for that first one, you're going to miss those 50 extra credit points, because it does take a little while to get your ID if you are doing it online. So sorry, but that's how it goes. You have to have your student ID in order to do those. They take about 45 minutes. You have to sign up through this program called Academia, and there is a schedule. The schedule will tell you when the workshops are offered. So they're offered at specific times within a 2-week window for each workshop. So right now, Mindset is going to be offered from now to, I think it's April 6th. So after April 6th, you will no longer be able to do Mindset. So you have to do Mindset within that 2 weeks to get that 50 points of extra credit. I strongly urge you to do that, because if you don't, you will not get those 50 points, and you may need them later on if you miss other assignments. The second one, I think, is between April 7th and the 22nd. And then the next one is April 23rd through the end of the term, which is the 9th of May. So you have about 2 weeks for each one. And give or take a little bit, because I think they're like, some of them are exactly 2 weeks and some of them are like 2 weeks and some change, but essentially you have approximately 2 weeks to do each one. So the first one's Mindset, that's worth 50. The second one is Learning Strategies, that's worth 50. And then Time Management, which is worth 50. So each one is worth 50 points for a total of 150 extra credit. In addition to that, there's another 150 extra credit in the syllabus that you can take a look at. And it's directly following, I have a page that breaks down all the points in the class. So you can literally see all the points that are available, what assignments are associated with that. And so you can see if I miss this assignment, I can use this extra credit to make it up over here. The extra credit for the most part is listed in the syllabus by week. So it's listed when it's due. However, there are going to be some miscellaneous extra credit assignments, contests that we have throughout the term that are not listed in the syllabus. They're just extra, and I will be announcing those in the announcements or in the assignments themselves. And so that's just extra credit. So I do like to use extra credit because I know that this class is for students who are on academic probation. Sometimes you guys mess up on your regular work, and so that's why I have extra credit to kind of bail you out, because I don't like taking late work because it's just more work for me, and I'm a busy person. I don't have time for your late work. I just don't. And I'd also like you to learn how to turn your work in on time. We're working on time management here, so this is in your best interest as well. I would not be doing you any favors if I was taking your work late. So no excuses are going to work except these 2 excuses. So if you have a doctor's situation or like a medical situation that spans longer than a week, that has prevented you from being able to do your work, and you can provide me with a doctor's note, I will take the work the following week. So if it was due week 1, then I expect it at the end of week 2 with the doctor's note emailed to me. So you'll email all late work with your doctor's note, or with proof that you had some kind of legal issue. So legal issues that will qualify for this would be like you're at jury duty for that whole week, and so you can't actually do your work and turn it in because you were doing jury duty. So that would be a valid excuse. Or if you were incarcerated or you had a court date that spanned a week, then I will take your work late as long as you can produce that's proof of where you were. So I was in prison, Dr. Borgi. You're innocent until proven guilty in my book, so go ahead and turn that in the following week. However, if you wait several weeks, so let's say you missed week 1 and then it's week 4 and you come to me and say, I missed week 1, but I have a medical reason. I may look at the situation and see if maybe that medical reason has prevented you from being able to get in touch with me until now. But if you've been back and it's been just a couple weeks and now you're late retroactively trying to go back and get credit for that week 1, I'm going to say no, because I'm telling you, if you miss a week and you need to turn in your work late, you need to turn it in the following week. So it's due the next week after that with your excuse, and you need to email it to me. So let's say Canvas is down for the whole day, like for everybody, I will give everybody additional time to turn it in if that's the case. If it's just your internet that's down, I'm not going to allow you to turn your work in late because A, I want you to turn in your work in ahead of time, and B, you should have a backup internet location that you can go to. So when my internet is down, I go to Starbucks, or if the whole Rancho Cucamonga is down, then I would consider giving you guys more time because, if we had like a hurricane or something like that, trust me, I'm going to be kind. I'm going to give you extra time to get stuff done if there's a natural disaster, or, within reason. But what I'm not going to do is give you individually extra time because your internet was down. There is a internet provider called California Connects, and I do have that in my course introduction information. I think it's in the section that says start here. When it says start here, it gives you instructions about the course that kind of correspond to some of the things I'm saying here. In addition to watching this video, you should read all the instructions. And I strongly encourage you to use text-to-speech if you're one of those people that hates reading. Text-to-speech is absolutely not cheating. And I have the instructions at the top of that page where it says start here for the course introduction, because it's a lot of reading. So you can have the computer read it to you, and that's fine with me. I have the computer read to me all the time because I have ADHD. I'm always playing with something. I've got like toys with me all the time that I'm just playing with. So I got my little kitty here just because it kind of gives me my hands something to play with while you can probably see my hands are moving. It's because I'm playing with something, because it helps me focus. And so you might want to try using something like this while you are working if you tend to be unfocused or have ADHD like symptoms. Even if you don't have ADHD and you just struggle with focus, having a little toy or something will help you with that. Okay, so we talked about if you are late for any reason, but I didn't tell you what to do if Canvas isn't working. So let's say it's about an hour before your assignments are due and you've waited to the last minute and you're trying to turn something in via Canvas, but for some reason it just won't upload and it won't work. Now this happens sometimes, especially on Sunday night and Monday night when a lot of people have their assignments due. Canvas will just be overwhelmed with people who are using it at the same time, and you won't be able to upload. So if that happens, this is the procedure. So you will email me the assignment and you will attach that assignment in a document, or you will copy and paste the assignment into the text box of the email. At the top of the email, you will tell me I was unable to turn in my assignment on Canvas, but I'm still turning it in on time. As long as your assignment is emailed to me before the due date, so that's 11:59 p.m. on Monday night following its appearance in the syllabus. So if something appears in the syllabus, doesn't have any due date next to it, that means it's due the following Monday by 11:59 p.m. So if you email me your assignment before 11:59 p.m. on Monday night saying I wasn't able to upload this on Canvas, but I'm uploading it here in your email because I couldn't email it in the assignment, or I couldn't upload it in the assignment, then I'll give you full credit for the assignment as long as it's in before the deadline. If you wait until the last minute, so let's say it's 11:58 and you're trying to upload the assignment and you can't upload it, and by the time you email me it's 12:02, then I am not going to give you credit for that assignment. So literally that deadline of 11:59, if I look at the email and it says 11:59, you're good. But if it says 12 o'clock, you're not good. So I hope you're hearing this, and I hope you are watching this all the way to the end, so that way you're not shocked or surprised when that happens. All right, so my availability, I think I already kind of mentioned this, but I'm available evenings and weekends if you need me. I'm not really available during the day during Monday through Friday because I am teaching 9 to 5 at an Armenian school. So I am busy from 7:30 to 4:30 every single day. However, if you need me and have an emergency, please text me anyway, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Sometimes that means I won't be able to get back to you till the end of the day, but at least I will get back to you as soon as I can. If you need immediate assistance, please text me. Again, that's the fastest way to reach me, 909-224-1204. I can reach by email, but I take about 2 days to respond. So 48 hours, amy.borgi@chaffey.edu. And again, you can always call me. And I take about 24 hours to return phone calls. Okay, so there is a course syllabus already listed in your assignments for this week. And one of the biggest assignments that you have to do, in fact, the biggest assignment that you have to do this week is going to be the syllabus contract. So if you fail to turn in the syllabus contract on time, then I will consider dropping you from the class. I'll try to get in contact with you, but if I can't reach you, I'm just going to drop you by the census deadline if you have not turned in that document. So you have to sign the document in Canvas. There is an assignment. You'll see the assignment, you'll see the contract in the syllabus, but you're not going to use the one in the syllabus. You're going to go to the assignment that is titled Syllabus Contract, and next to it on the assignment it says you must turn this in or you're going to be dropped from the class. Now, I'm not going to immediately drop you. I'm going to try to get a hold of you to make sure that you're good, because sometimes things happen. Maybe they didn't realize, maybe they forgot to watch the course introduction like you're doing right now. So if that happens to somebody, I'm going to try to reach you, but I'm only going to try it for a couple days. And if I can't reach you by Friday, I think the class starts on a Monday. So I've tried every day to reach you, and by Friday I still haven't reached you. I'm just going to drop you from the class because I have a wait list, a very long wait list for this class. And I want to add as many people as possible that are going to be engaged in the class. And so the only way I have to know that you're really truly engaged is that you're turning in this one document that I'm asking you to turn in. So if you're listening and you're paying attention and you watch the course introduction and you do everything you're supposed to do, you'll have the syllabus contract turned in, and you will not have to worry about this. But it's really the people that aren't watching right now that are going to have the struggle with this. But I'm just letting you know, in case you are watching and you do happen to forget, that I will email you and try to rein you back in and get you back engaged in the class. Now, you might ask me, Dr. Borgi, why would you do this? Why would you make an assignment where if we don't turn it in, we get kicked out of the class? And the answer is, I have a huge waiting list. I need to know who is engaged in this class and who is ready to go, who is actually on task and doing what they're supposed to do. Because if you are doing that at the beginning, then that means you're probably going to be engaged throughout the term. If you were not engaged at the beginning, like you forgot this class even existed, you forgot you signed up for it, because this is a late start class, so a lot of people will forget that they signed up for it and they'll miss the important things at the beginning. So if you miss those first few days, you're not engaged. And so I don't really want you here. I would rather you wait until you're in a place where you can engage with the course materials. Maybe next semester would be better for you. I don't know. But one thing is true. I want engaged students, and I don't want the students who are really not engaged starting at the start of the class to try to finish the class. Because if you're not engaged at the beginning, then chances are you're just not going to be engaged, period. And I've seen this because I've been teaching this class for something like since 2007. So 2007, it's been a long time that I've been teaching this class. We're in 2024. So I've seen some things, and I know that when students start out not engaged, they're probably not going to finish the class anyway. So I'm kind of doing you a favor if you're not engaged by dropping you from the class. So I do have a census drop. It is at the end of the week. So I think it's on that Friday. So if you do not sign it, actually, you know what? Let me look at when my census is, because I'm pretty sure I put it in my phone. So I am the kind of person who is pretty on top of stuff. I do put things in my day planner. I do kind of know when things are happening. So let's see. Our syllabus census. Where is it? I don't know. So I actually don't have it in here, which is weird because I'm pretty sure I put it in here. So the census is probably due on that Friday. It usually is for the 8-week classes. That would be on the 22nd. So if I see that you haven't signed that contract by then I will go ahead and drop you from the class. So the first thing you want to do when you get to the class, you want to go in and you want to sign that syllabus contract right away. So you might think, I don't have anything due. Yes, you do. You have something due right away. So go ahead, when you're done with this video, go sign the syllabus contract right away, because if you don't sign it by Friday, you're going to get booted from the class. You don't want that. Okay, so next we have what we're supposed to do and in what order. So every week, this is how I would like you to approach the class. It's very important that you use the course syllabus for all assignment due dates. So everything that is in the course syllabus is what's happening in the class. Sometimes in Canvas, things will be incorrect. And so if you are following what's going on in Canvas and you're looking at only the assignment list in Canvas, you may not get the correct assignments for the week. And I will be testing you on this because this is part of that whole like, hey, I really want you to follow instructions and I want to make sure you're engaged. So this is how I'm making sure. So what I'd like you to do is go get your course syllabus, either print it out or save it somewhere important on your computer. Every week when you start the week, go to the course syllabus and look at what we're supposed to be covering. Read through the items at the top that say this is what we're reviewing this week. Then look at the things you have to read and review. So there is a list of those things. Usually it says you should review this week's Canvas because next week we have a test. We have a test every single week in the class, not this week during week 1, but starting week 2, we have quiz 1, we have 6 quizzes, and then we have our final exam. So you really don't have a break in quizzes, it's all the time. So every week you should be reviewing the Canvas materials for that week and studying for the next quiz. You'll also have readings from the 7 Habits book and from the On-Course book every single week. We usually are covering just one chapter in each week. So like this week, we'll be covering chapter 1 in On-Course, and we'll be covering paradigms and principles in the 7 habits. When we get to the very end of the class, we will have covered habits 1 through 7 and paradigms and principles in the 7 habits, and we will have covered 9 chapters in On-Course. And so chapter 9 there's really not that much in it. So it's really only 8 chapters in On-Course, and there are 8 chapters in the 7 habits book because there's the paradigms and principles and then 7 habits. So there's a 1-to-1 correspondence for each chapter in both books. So you'll have 1 chapter out of one book, 1 chapter out of the other book every single week. Your homework is always going to be out of the On-Course book. So it's important that you probably, if you're like, I need one book or the other, I can't buy both, buy the On-Course book. However, if you can't get your books right away for whatever reason, I would say the 7 Habits book is cheaper to get. So if you're trying to like make sure you get all your points for the books, you might just want to grab that 7 Habits book in a day planner because those are cheaper. But you got to get that On-Course book. The book for this class is the online ebook, and so that is because you need immediate access to the book. And so if you are getting the paper and pencil book, like the actual paper book, make sure that it's going to be mailed to you in a timely manner because you need it right away. There are books on reserve in the library, meaning you could go to the library and actually reserve those books. They're in the process of actually putting all our reserved books online, which is amazing. So you'll be able to access reserved books soon online, but we can't yet. And so you'll actually have to go to the library and look at the book. You can take photos, like you can take photos of the pages of the book for the chapters that you need. So I would say go to the library, grab the book for the hour that you have it, take pictures of the parts you need, but you do need to purchase the book. You don't want to have to take pictures of the whole book. It's really long, so that would be not work. All of your homework you're going to be completing in Canvas. So Canvas will have the assignments and the journals and everything that you need is in Canvas, but sometimes the information that you need to answer those questions is in the book. So during the first week, let me look and see because I'm going to look at our thing and see how I have it set up. So for the first week, you don't have any assignments out of you do. I do have an assignment. So for the first week, there is an assignment out of your book. And so that's why you need to make sure that you get the ebook and you get the book right away because you won't be able to do that assignment without the book. And you need it this week because that homework is due on next Monday, the 25th. So that means that you need to get the online version of the book so you have instant access to the book so you can use that to do your work. The Opening Doors office sometimes has copies of the books that they can give you. I think they're out of the 8th edition right now, and they do have copies of older editions, which you could use because it is similar enough, but the page numbers are completely different. So you have to go chapter by chapter and kind of figure out, okay, what chapter has this information in it based on the title of the chapter, and the page numbers will not apply to you if you have an older version of the book. So I do suggest, if you can't afford the book and you can't afford to get the book right away, that you get the ebook. It is actually cheaper than the paper book usually. So that is that case. So anyway, you're going to check the syllabus for your assignments. You're going to do the reading first and review everything in Canvas next. And then you're going to work on your assignments. So that will be last. Make sure that you do put all items in your day planner and figure out when you're going to do it throughout the week, and try to schedule it so you get your work done ahead of time. So you have that weekend off to just kind of enjoy yourself and relax, and you're not waiting till the last minute to get your work in on Monday, because being successful is about getting stuff done ahead of time. That's really what success is about, is getting things when you get them. So like if you get something and they're like, you have to fill this out by Thursday, and you're like, well, if I put it down right now, I'm probably going to forget to do it. So I'm just going to do it right now and get it done. I'll be the first one done. All right, so next we have, look at the list of assignments for the week, and you definitely want to plan things ahead of time with your assignments when you're going to do them, because if you wait around for when you have spare time, sometimes you don't get spare time. Like you think, oh, I'm gonna have time on Thursday to do it, but then something happens. So you got to schedule that time for yourself to actually study. What some people do is like if they have classes on campus, they'll come to campus, take their class. After the class is over, they'll bring all their study materials and they'll go to the library or to a coffee shop or something, and they'll just study there. So that way when they get home, they're done with all their work and they can just relax. Because what I've noticed is if I come home and start relaxing, I'm not going to get anything done after I start relaxing. And so sometimes it's in my best interest just to go to Starbucks on my way home from work and do all my work for Chafee, because once I get home, I want to just hang out and relax. Okay, so if you're waiting around for time to do your assignments, you're always going to wait to the last minute. Please schedule time to get your work done, and scheduling the same time every week, like after your classes for the day, or when you get home from work, that's the best time. Don't relax for a few minutes first, because you'll never get to it. Just go straight from working on one thing to working on the next thing with maybe a small break, and that's it. I do not take late work in any of my classes. Again, I'm a busy person. I do not have time to take your late work. It's too much for me to juggle, and I don't want you to turn in late work ever. So I want you to turn in your work ahead of time. So we're working on your time management. I'm trying to help you, but also I just don't have the time and patience to deal with late work at all. So my inclination is to say no unless you have one of those two reasons I suggested earlier. So if you don't have one of those reasons, then I'm not going to take your late work. So don't try. Okay, next. This class takes about 9 hours per week, meaning you'll have 3 hours of reading, 3 hours of reviewing things in Canvas, and 3 hours of actual homework. And that's how 3-unit classes are supposed to be. You're supposed to have 3 units in class, or 3 hours in class. Sorry. So 3-unit classes have 3 hours of class and 3 hours of homework and 3 hours of reading a week. So you have the same amount of time. So it's a 3-unit class, so it's the same amount of work as if you were to take this in person. But you have to do those lecture periods yourself. Like that's the part where you're going through Canvas and watching my lectures and going through readings and assignments and things. If for some reason you are not going to continue in the class, like you know that you're done and you can't continue, drop the class officially in my Chafee view, because if you don't, you'll end up with what we call an FW, which is a fail to withdraw. Fail to withdraw is not a good thing. You do not want a fail to withdraw. It counts as an F, but it also shows that you just didn't finish something. And that looks bad for you if you have a bunch of FWs on your report card, because not only do they count against you as an F towards your GPA, but they also look like you don't know how to start and finish something. And that looks bad for you if you're applying to another school. Like let's say you're trying to get into USC. If you have a bunch of FWs, you're not going to get into USC. Okay, so make sure you drop any classes that you are not continuing in, including my class, but also including your other classes. Okay, so Office hours, I think I already mentioned this. I've got 2 more office hours. The next one is on April 1st. So please come to that. You will get extra credit if you do come. While you're reading, so when you're reading in class or for this class, I want you to take notes on your reading. I will be showing you how to take notes on reading when we get to the section on reading, but before that, I want you to just go ahead and start taking notes when you are reading, because first of all, I never go back to my book. So like if I'm reading, let's say I'm reading a chapter in here, it's chapter 2, and I'm reading chapter 2, and if I take notes, then I have these notes, I can put them in my folder and I can start studying them every day until I take the midterm or the final. But I know I'm not going to go back to my book and look at stuff I highlighted. It's just not going to happen. Like I might highlight stuff in my book when I'm reading it, but the truth is I know I'm never going to go back and look at that ever again. And so if I take notes on my reading and I take the notes and put them in my folder and study those notes every single day until the midterm or the final, then I'm going to do much better on the midterm and the final because I have those notes. So that's what I would like you to do for readings. Make sure you're reading and taking notes on that reading and studying those notes every day. So when you get your notes, so let's say you do take notes on your reading, here's your notes. You put those in a folder. That night you go back and study. The next day you take more notes, you put those in, and then you'll go back and you'll study the notes you did before and then the new notes. Let's say I do another reading, I add those notes. At the end of the day, I'll go back and read the original notes, the second set of notes, and the third set of notes. And I'll just keep doing that every single day, adding any additional notes that I have from readings. Don't rely on the to-do list in Canvas because a lot of times it doesn't have everything that you need, and those long-term assignments, like assignments that you have a couple weeks to do, it won't remind you about those until the last minute. And so if you're not keeping track of stuff by looking at your syllabus, you're going to run into problems in my class. I will be testing you on this. So and every year when I do this, or every semester when I do this, students get really pissed off. They're like, why are you trying to mess with us? No, I'm not trying to mess with you. I'm trying to make sure that you're doing what I asked you to do, because I'm asking you to look at your course syllabus for all your assignments, put those assignments in your day planner, schedule when you're going to do them, and then do the assignments. So if you're not doing that, and I have stuff in Canvas that's incorrect, because I am going to add some incorrect stuff just to test and see if you're paying attention. If you see incorrect stuff, you'll be able to contact me. If you see something incorrect, like you see a wrong due date on an assignment, or you see an assignment that doesn't belong in that week, let me know. And if you do let me know, I will give you some extra credit points for noticing. But you have to be one of the first people that notice. So if other people have already reported it to me, then you're not going to get that credit. But if you are the first to report an issue to me, I will give you extra credit. There are issues that I put in there on purpose because I'm checking to see if you're paying attention. Sometimes it is an accident. Sometimes accidents happen. But for the most part, if you see errors in Canvas, it's because I'm testing you to make sure that you're writing stuff down from your syllabus and that you can see clearly when something is not correct in Canvas. This happens in other classes every day. Teachers make mistakes. So I'm training you to have a careful eye and to use your course syllabus to find information, not Canvas itself. Okay, so we have quizzes every week, like I mentioned, and you should use sensory tools while you are studying. I also suggest trying to use different types of sound in your ears. So use like headphones, put the headphones in, and use white noise, black noise, brown noise, pink noise. There's all different colors of noises, or use sound frequencies. I really like the 639 frequency or 369 frequency. It's really a cool frequency. So 639, 369, that frequency is really cool to study to. Make sure you're using your day planner throughout the term. I think that's all I have. I think that's everything for the class. And so I'm not sure how long I've been talking, but it feels like it's been a really long time. So that is all the most important information. Please make sure that you complete the syllabus contract before Friday. It is due right away. So don't wait. Make sure you handle it. Students that are engaged will get to remain in the class. Students that have not completed by Friday are going to get replaced with people off of the waiting list. So don't let that be you. Okay, so I'm going to check in on Wednesday and see who has answered that syllabus or who has turned in the syllabus contract. If you have not answered it by Wednesday or turned it in by Wednesday, you will be emailed to remind you. If you have not turned it in by the deadline on Friday, then I will be dropping you and adding people in your place because we do have a huge, long wait list, as I mentioned. So I'm looking forward to having you in the class. And before I go, I just want to say that I'm actually really glad you're here because if you are here, that means that you're on academic probation or progress probation, but you decided that you care enough about yourself that you would like to take this class in order to get your GPA up and have some time to do that so you can stay here at Chafee and get your degree. So I'm totally proud of you for doing that. Also, I want you to know that whatever happened before this point, I don't really care. I don't care. I care about you. I care about your situation, but I really don't care what landed you here because all that is in the past. And right now, I just want to focus on where you are and what you do from here. So whatever you do, however you perform in my class, will be the only thing that I know about you. And how you present yourself is how I will see you. And so what I want to see is you doing your best now, because from here on out, this is what counts. If you are engaged in the class, meaning you are taking the class, you're doing everything that you can do to be successful, you are going to be successful. And I know that you can pass this class and it's super easy. You just need to make sure that you follow the directions in the class because that's all I have to grade you on is the instructions. So you're being graded on how well you're following instructions. And I will be, trying to be a little tricky. I don't want to make it so easy for you, but it is really easy. The only thing that's hard is that this is a very deep class and we have a lot of really important things that we're going to be talking about that may be, really intense for people because we're looking at ourselves and focusing on ourselves. But what I want you to focus on is not what you did wrong per se, but what you can learn and do correctly from here on out. I don't want you to focus too much on what happened before. I want you to focus on right now and where you can go from here because let's face it, we all make mistakes. And those mistakes are just feedback. They're just, feedback that lets us know that maybe we weren't doing what we were supposed to do before. But now that we know that, what are we going to do now? Where are we going to go from here? Okay? So I've had a lot of successful students that leave this class feeling amazing. And I've included some testimonials for you I think it's in the course introduction or in week 1. I'm not quite sure which one. Don't remember where I put those. But the course testimonials are from students who have taken this class in the past. And hopefully I will have time to insert the ones from last semester for my 8-week class so you can kind of see how things went for people back in the fall. And maybe even in the spring of the year before. So I also have some older ones up, but take a look at those testimonials, get a feel for what those are like. There is a quiz question on that, generally how do people who took the course in the past feel about the class. So make sure you at least look at a few of those testimonials to get a vibe for how people are feeling about taking the class. But I can tell you that people tend to change as a result of taking the class for the positive. And it's not just their study skills and their school stuff that changes. It's their entire life. Because you can't really just change one aspect of yourself and leave everything else the same. In order to become a better student, you have to become a better person. And in order to become a better person, you really have to change the way you think and change the way you approach things. And I think that you can do that. So what I'm going to be doing is giving you lots of tools. So I'm going to be throwing some tools at you. You'll catch some of them and use some of them. Some of them will be or they'll slide past you, and that's okay because there's so much in the class, you're not going to be able to take and use everything. But what I can challenge you to do is to try to find things that you think might work for you and use those tools and apply them in your life right now. Start right now. There's no need to wait. This class will work for you right away, starting right away. And you'll be getting, I think we're doing test taking skills this week. So we'll be getting, some tips and pointers on how to do well on our quizzes. So that way you can start with that information and doing well on your quizzes. And I'm going to be giving you lots of study skills information throughout the term. But more importantly, I'm going to be giving you tools that will help you in your life to become a better person and be the best you that you can be. So we're going to start out this class by looking at you but the best version of you. And that's going to be one of your first assignments in our meet and greet discussion. In discussions, you're going to be conversing with other students. I will not be too involved in the discussions. I might pop in and check on you guys, but that's really the space for you guys to talk. The only place that I'm going to be delivering information throughout the term, besides the Canvas shells itself, is going to be the course announcements. So any changes that happen to the class are going to be listed in course announcements. Okay, I think I'm done now for real. So it was lovely talking to you, and I'm sorry I took up so much of your time, but if you watch this to the very end and you want some extra credit, please leave me a comment on YouTube underneath this video. So you have to click on the video in YouTube, which is at the very bottom of the video. So if you just click on the area that says YouTube, it'll take you to the YouTube version of this video. You will leave me a comment. If your username is not your actual name, make sure you leave at least your name and first initial, so that way I know who you are in the class and I can give you the extra credit. I will give everybody that leaves a comment for me there 15 extra credit points. So it has to be on this YouTube video, like underneath the video, just leave me a comment. Anybody that leaves a comment there will get that extra credit. So you deserve it because you watched to the very end like I asked you to, and I appreciate you. So I guess that's it. And you guys have a wonderful rest of the day, and I will be seeing you this week. All right? Bye.